So I'm beyond frustrated with this whole move process. We mentioned that we would be good with going to Guam back in February of 23. And about 2 weeks later, maybe, found out I was pregnant with this guy. And then we said, maybe we shouldn't go to Guam with 2 kids. So we talked to the higher up, and he said, no, I want you to go to Guam, because my husband's good at his job, so he wanted us to go there. So, okay, we're gonna wait. So we have to wait until we can get actual orders, and then fall of 23, Congress doesn't pass a budget. So normally, to leave in August, we would have gotten orders in January or February. Well, Congress didn't pass budget, so we didn't get orders till the end of April. And you have to do overseas screening to go to Guam, even though it's a U.S. territory. It has its own rules and regulations. It's considered overseas assignment, so you have to go through this whole screening process of getting everybody in the family checked out, making sure that they qualify, and any services they need can be provided for at the new duty station. So we have to start that process after February to leave. After February. It was after April. To leave in August. So that's 4 months. 4 months to get overseas screening. So my husband has to get approved first. Before anybody in the family, my husband has to go and do all his stuff. He finds out what he has to do. You have to do dental screening, and then you have to do medical screening. So he goes and he does all of his stuff. And he gets his appointment for June 6th. And he goes and they say, oh, you need a blood pressure. Now that we have all your stuff, we can start working on your family. So we were getting all our ducks in a row. We have a house, so we had to put our house on the market. We went ahead and put our house on the market. Didn't know how long it was going to take to sell our house. Well, it didn't take long. So we sold our house. It's under contract, and we have to be out of it by July 31st. Well, screening is taking so long. They wanted my husband to have a blood pressure done. Did they do it then? No, they said, you need to go to your primary care doctor and get a blood pressure done. So my husband went to his primary care doctor, and they said, we don't need to do a blood pressure. What are they talking about? So he went back to the screening office, and they're like, you have to get a blood pressure. So he was like, I'll come back and maybe try to talk to somebody else who maybe is a little bit more reasonable. So we go about getting all the stuff done for all of us, and he takes all the paperwork for us to go get screened, because you have to take all the paperwork, and then you have to get an appointment to see the doctor, and then he can approve or deny you or whatever. So we get all of our stuff done as far as we know. We were more worried about the little boys, because Killian the baby has to have surgery at some point in the future because of urology issues, and Malachi has therapies that have to be lined up. So we were more worried about them. Nah, they were like, all right, well, you got all your ducks in a row with these guys, but you, Amber, you need to get a flu shot, and you need to get all these other shots that, you know, you've been fine without. But anyway, they were requiring a flu shot in June. And then Naya, our 19-year-old, has to get a yearly physical. Her EFMP physical didn't count. Has to get a special sports physical for it to count. So in order to get that, the physical, she has to get an appointment with her primary care doctor because that's how TRICARE Prime works. And so that appointment takes a month to get. So we get that appointment. And, oh yeah, she has to get shots, which she's scared to death of needles. So, okay, whatever. So we get that appointment. I say, hey, when can I come get the flu shot? Immunology says, first I said, I have a really bad reaction, and can I get exempted? And they said, no, you can't get exempted because you show hypersensitivity, not allergy. And so you being deathly ill and almost dying from dehydration is not cause to not get the flu shot. And I was like, okay, well, when can I come get the flu shot? And they said, oh, well, we won't have any more shots available until September because it's already the end of June, because this was June 28th, which, is Friday. And so we won't have any more shots available until September because flu season's over and all of these shots have expired. So, yeah. So we were like, all right, well, we're just going to go and we're going to say, hey, Malachi is EFMP4 anyway, so can you just deny him because we know you're going to deny him probably anyway. And they're like, no, we can't. They might not deny. So we have to send everything through. And, oh yeah, you can go ahead and get an appointment for all of this if you're just not going to do this other stuff. So now we can get an appointment for in 2 weeks to see the doctor. So he can say, the screening doctor. So we're going to see the screening doctor, and he's going to say, all right, I'm going to send all this stuff to Guam. And then they can deny it. And this is just, and our house is already under contract. And now the moisture people that came and inspected. Did you know that the moisture people who come and inspect a house are the same people who would do any repairs and fix your house? So they're really motivated to find something wrong with your house. And these particular moisture people decided that they didn't need to take a picture of the humidity levels because they could see condensation collected on the air duct for the AC. So therefore they didn't need to provide any proof that we needed a dehumidifier. They were just going to recommend one, and it's going to cost $4,000. Nobody else charges that much, but that's how much they charge, and they won't write us a clear letter. So this is my frustration saga. And also, Killian had an ultrasound appointment this morning to look at his head to see if his skull is fusing too early, because he's got a large ridge right here on his forehead. And the pediatrician thought that getting that ultrasound would be beneficial to him, and so he had that appointment today. But my husband got pulled in for duty today, and so he couldn't keep Malachi with him. And so when we went, and no one told us that I couldn't bring Malachi with us, so when I went and said, hey, I'm here to check this guy in, they said, oh, well, who's gonna watch that big guy while that little guy gets this? And I said, me. And they said, no, and you can go drop him off at drop-off daycare with a whole bunch of strangers that you don't know. So now I have to reschedule that appointment. And I was like, we leave in August, so where can you get me an appointment sooner? And the scheduling lady was actually really nice. She was not the lady who was at the ultrasound appointment, or at the ultrasound desk. So scheduling person was like, I'll get you in as soon as possible. Oh, look, we have a cancellation, so you can be seen in a month. We have to move out of our house on the 31st. We don't have anywhere to go, so we have to get a storage unit to move all of our stuff into, because the movers can't come and collect all of our stuff to move us until we're approved to go somewhere. And we can't get approved to go anywhere because screening took so long. So we can't get approved or denied yet. Also in all of this, my regular W-2 job, there's somebody else, so I had to cover them. But that doesn't mean that I don't do my own job. I still have to do my own job while I'm covering the other person. And I'm also have my own things that I do for coaching, and so and I also have my kids at home, and I also have to pack up my whole house now myself because we can't schedule movers to come pack us. So my husband has to work, so I get to pack up the whole house and move it into the storage unit myself. So yeah, I'm a little stressed out. So we're at a park, and my son is playing on a giant sandhill. Things that help us all be happy. Him playing on a giant sandhill. This guy picking grass and trying to eat it. I mean, trying to stop him from eating it.